All right, y'all. Happy witching hour. We deep in the devil's hour or the witch's hour. I wanted to come and talk to y'all real quick about, oh, goodness gracious. You ever see a group of angry, obsessed, stalking females who have jealousy problems, essentially, even though they claim they're not jealous? But there's got to be something going on. Can y'all hear me? Hold on. Here we go. Now y'all can hear me. Hello. Happy witching hour to y'all. I wanted to come and speak about some stuff, and I- you know, have you ever seen a group of females, bitter, obsessed, jealous, upset, who literally run around the internet to try to weaponize a male against a woman? Imagine the disappointment when those women are not allowed to do that and justice is at hand. It takes me back to the Sylvia Likens story. Sylvia Likens was so jealous. I'm sorry, not Sylvia. Gertrude was so jealous of Sylvia that she not only began to abuse this girl, but then she also got some of the neighborhood kids to abuse this little girl at the age of 16 years old. And ultimately, they ended up torturing her to death. And I think that it's that same spirit. We all know where it comes from. So I wanted to come and let you guys know, if you're dealing with that. I haven't seen that too much. That's kind of rare. I guess it would have to be a rare occurrence where you have a bunch of females that are willing to do and say anything to try to harm a woman in social media. And then they find out that they cannot weaponize that man against that woman. Literally, I've experienced this, and they're desperate at it. They're very desperate to weaponize a man against a woman. And I want you guys to really listen to what I'm saying about this. And I think that men need to use restraint. I think men need to recognize when this is happening, when you have a group of women that are obsessed with one woman to the point where they're willing to lie, attempt to manipulate, because they want to use a man as a weapon against a woman. Now, just recently, what my spirits wanted me to do was to make a spirit doll for anti domestic violence. I have seen this over and over and over again. I have seen it. Just saying. Even though, like I said, that man needs to have control over himself as a man. However, when you get a bunch of females that are playing around with black magic, especially trying to do voodoo, which is where you're saying, "Oh, praise Jesus," but in reality, you're up to no good. You know, it's sad to see women that are like this. It happens. I have a very extremely powerful spirit team. Anytime you come to the internet and you feel so much hatred and visceral for a complete stranger, to the point where you randomly try to choose people to align them with because you're trying to get this person to attack them. This is what I've witnessed these people trying to do to me, ultimately. My spirit team will protect me, and my spirit team will protect any woman that is dealing with that type of situation. That's a sad situation. That's a sad situation when you get a bunch of sad, sorry, obsessed women who cannot let it go. You have been told over and over again to let it go. Then you're trying to use a man as a puppet. And for me, my spirits recognize it, and they're going to literally ping pong your butt around this earth. And it doesn't matter what you think. You can say, well, I know that I'm doing this as a woman and I shouldn't, you know, but I'm just going to go and pray to Jesus and Jesus is going to make it better. And that's not what's going to happen. Jesus is going to protect the innocent people involved in something like that. These people have bragged about causing fights and arguments between people, trying to create discord and chaos that doesn't need to be there. Lying, coming in somebody's inbox, trying to tell them something that happened that never did. What do you think is going to be the fate of those people that are doing that? And it doesn't matter if it's more than one of you. You are being watched. Everything that you're doing is being duly noted. And I can promise you that and it doesn't matter how many males you have involved with something like that. Anytime you try to get a woman in a strange city, in particular Atlanta, with her small children, you try to take a man and try to fill that man up with as much hatred as possible because you think that one day this male is going to do harm to this woman. You, in my opinion, are not worthy of life. That's why I always tell you that you need to be dead. That you do. You're a horrible person. This is a fact. Jesus can't change that for you. In fact, it's bullcrap for you to even bring that up. You are literally the bottom of the barrel, worst person in this world to even do something like that. I'm human. Or maybe it's just that you don't have no soul. We're protected from that. You don't have that kind of power. That's what you do. You try to run around the internet. You're angry and you're upset because you couldn't use this man as a weapon against me. You want it to be real, but it's not. Ask yourself as a woman, why would you even be in that place as a woman? You already tried to lie. You already tried to do a smear campaign that did not work, that blew up in your face. You've already done that. Now what? Now what? What do you think you're going to do? And then you'll look at witches and say, y'all so wicked, but we got the right to protect ourselves. There's some very powerful spirits that you cannot, that they're not gonna, you can say in the name of Jesus, but with these spirits, they're not listening to that. You need to stop. You are never going to get that woman killed. You are never going to see that woman down and out. I just want to see her down and out. Why? For what? I just want to see you hurt. And I hate your kids. And I want to say this about you. And I want to, girl, you got a mental problem. What's wrong with you? You're that bitter? I can promise you that you can't never use no man, no weapon against me. You tried to use the police against me, tried to use CPS against me. You can't use anybody in mankind against me to try to bring destruction. You literally, and that's what you're known for. All of you that were involved with that, nobody's mistaken by this. They have watched you do it. Everybody has said, wow, I can clearly see that these women are trying to weaponize this man against this woman. They are trying to do that. Nobody is mistaken. They don't have to say nothing. No, I can say something. I'm gonna say something, but this is obviously what's going on. We're protected from that. And you just look mentally ill, but in reality, we know that you're literally evil. Literally evil. You, in my humble opinion, doing that to somebody that has never done anything to you, in my humble opinion, you are not deserving of life. What are you upset about that for? What are you mad because that's the truth? We're protected from that. And then you're obsessed with it. Shouldn't be doing stuff like that. You shouldn't be doing things like that. You shouldn't. And you know what? I know women that hate other women that much to where they would try to do that to another woman. And then you'll say, "Well, you ain't nothing. You ain't nothing to be jealous of." Well, then why have you been chasing and stalking me for the past 12, 10, 12, 13 years trying to use this man as a weapon against me? He already told you that he's saved by Jesus. No man that is saved is going to do that. You're not, if you're up to that, you have no prayer in the world whatsoever. There's nothing. There's nothing for you. If you feel that in your heart to where you want to continuously do that, please believe that you have nothing and something is wrong with you. And when you, I'm sorry, pardon me, I thought that when people go to Jesus is when they stop doing the evil. Okay, so you claim that you're doing this because I'm a witch. Please tell me, what does that have to do with anything? What does being a witch have to do with anything? There have been witches and shamans and healers that existed on this earth since the beginning of time. My kind has existed since the beginning. What does that have to do with the evil that you do? Hey, Trinity, what does that have to do with the evil that you do? You can't manifest that in my life. You're trying to manifest abuse, domestic violence, because you're that bitter and sick that for some reason you need to hear this man say something negative about me, even if you know it's a lie. Even if you know it's a lie. And you have extremely low self-esteem, extremely low, extremely. Nobody is mistaken about this. There's a lot of women out there like that, sadly. Here's what I want to say also. I have noticed some things about the internet. First of all, I know for a fact that when I was pregnant with my youngest child, I know for a fact that y'all were already stalking me, right? And I believe that, well, when I'm pregnant, I don't do anything. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I gave birth to a healthy child. As soon as like something snapped inside of y'all and y'all began to run around the internet trying to speak mental illness on my son. My son is perfectly normal. I have literally been protecting my youngest child from y'all attacks. Yeah, you can't do that over here. This child is very normal. And y'all so sick. These people are so sick, y'all, that they actually tried I mean, just literally the kid started talking when he was 2. That's typically about the age where children start to talk and speak in sentences to where you can understand them. He started talking about the age of 2. It's 10 years later, and these people are still going around saying that my son is what do they call that? That he doesn't communicate or talk. This kid done had a voice change and everything. Sound like a man now. Talks in a very deep voice, very normal. But y'all like what is it, a psychosis? He can't talk. He doesn't communicate. Maybe we should call CPS. Like, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. It's really sad. It really is. And what do you think is gonna happen? What do you think is gonna come out of that? You think that defects by this point, after they literally watched my child grow up, they literally have watched him grow up, which I think that they should stop the intrusion a long time ago. I mean, y'all will call CPS and tell them anything, anything. It's a mental illness that you're going through. Do you really think that you were ever going to break me down or something? Like you thought you was going to drive me crazy just by doing that? No, I'm a strong person. I'm going to be strong for my family. It's ridiculous. And then you continue to do it. It's been pointed out. It's obvious that that's what you're doing, and you blindly continue to do it. Or you're not gonna ever break me. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. I had already, when I gave birth to Jacob, I think my oldest was what? He was like 16, 15. I had already raised 3 children. And then you want to run around here and flag channels and go nuts. And who's telling you to do this? We all know, but you don't look smart or intelligent. You look ridiculous. Then you want to come on here and speak for black people's rights, and you're a bunch of black people that are doing that to another black person. Yeah, no, no. So we're protected from that. Domestic violence, verbal abuse, you want to, and men, when you have a bunch of women doing that, you need to show restraint. You need to show restraint. You think you're a woman to get this man to talk crazy about me on the internet. And there are even times where I sent people trying to do some kind of weird death magic and stuff, trying to get this man to murder me. You're never going to do that. I can promise you that. You know, all of it has been peeped out. You know what? Why don't you as a woman try to spread love and peace? You can't do it. And all of you women, you know, the sad part about it is that to me what it looks like is a bunch of women banging their heads up against a brick wall. That's all you look like to me. That's the energy that I get from you. And every single day, Jamila, 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 we're obsessed. Y'all holding secret meetings about this, and all it's gonna do is affect you. Then also another thing, you know, the kind of stalking that y'all have done and the kind of spiritual warfare that y'all have done, it literally could have caused PTSD, anxiety, depression. Y'all didn't have anything to do with me with the eviction. That was that bum ass landlord. So y'all didn't have nothing to do with that. And technically, y'all did not destroy my business. Y'all basically flagged the channel, which, and I'm about to get my Etsy back. What's going to be y'all reaction to that? Is it going to get worse? Because I can promise you that at this point, we're at end game. We're at end game right now. We are. So either you're going to be respectful and stop trying to deny people their rights. I have a right to do what I want to do with my life. You can't come on here and say, I want to throw a temper tantrum. I'm a woman. I want her to not run her business. I'm going to attack her. It doesn't matter what you want. Too bad. You're going to have to either walk away or catch those spiritual hands. It's not going to make a difference. It's not. So basically, I'm about to get off of here, y'all. And what I was going to say about that is that all of my family's heads, all of my loved ones, the cognitive dissonance, the distrust, the hate, the evil eye, the jealousy, all of the problems that you could create out of your negativity and toxicity and toxic energy, cancer, heart attacks, strokes. I will take all of that energy and send it right back to you. And I'm not talking, this shit don't take 10 years, 6 years, 4 years. This takes within seconds. I'll send it right back to you. Women are protected from women like you. You're disgusting. You're horrible. You should be ashamed of yourselves. And you want to talk about Jesus? You think Jesus would have let you do his mama like that? You forgetting that Jesus had a mama. I'm a witch. I don't allow no mistakes to be made because there's been many, many people that have slipped through the cracks because of people like you. You're not dealing with a person. You're dealing with somebody that is not only a witch, I'm an alchemist, and I practice sorcery. I will literally smash you like the roach that you are. You keep trying to weaponize this man against me. You keep trying to prove that you got some kind of power and you don't. It's not even real. It's not real. What you need to do is show some respect for yourself and walk away. because everybody can see what you're up to. Nobody's mistaken about it. Nobody. Are they? They're not. And I got a spirit that's literally on y'all. That spirit ain't gonna leave you. He's gonna continue to attack you. Them spirits are gonna continue to attack you. Running your mouth, lying, trying to hang up underneath this man ain't gonna do nothing. It's not gonna do nothing. You're wicked, you're foul, you're evil. Period. Anywho, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna tell you something. There's a, this was not a coincidence either that I would run into this kind of evil, because I'll make sure that I protect every woman, every child, every man from people like you, all of you. I didn't even realize that people like you existed. That's horrible and evil. I can't tell you that you're evil. But anybody that's normal that's looking at you knows how evil you are. And it doesn't matter. And then you sitting over there trying to wrestle with Aries, and he's really going to show you. You don't even realize what you're up against because you want to be ignorant and blind to it. But it's not going to matter. It's not. And then you tried to lie on me to try to make me look like I was some kind of bad person. And, when it was exposed that you were never justified in what you were doing anyway, then you got really mad. How do you get stupider? How do you get dumber? You do realize that you're up against death. I told you that. You've been doing things that could have gotten me and my children killed. You've been doing things that could have harmed us. So how is it any different? You tried to turn this man into a weapon against me by playing with his head and his heart. What do you think is going to happen to you? Not good things are ever going to happen for you. The only thing left for you to do is come clean, but you can't even do that to save your own soul. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. We tired. I'm tired. My children are tired. We all tired of it. This is end game. Either you're going to straighten up and fly right and admit to what you did and never do it again, or you can catch them hands. Because the things that you tried to do to me, oh, you want to talk about God. You talking about anger. You talking about fury. And then also the stigmas that y'all tried to put on me, tried to isolate me, tried to make my whole life and social media about this crap. So again, your evil will never, ever, ever, ever work. It's not. Okay. Nobody should have to come to their social media and see this kind of crap. No, like nobody should have to deal with this. Nobody. Okay. So I gotta go because I'm up now. I was asleep when all this started. And it's like I said, I got it. I can actually do a quick video and show y'all the work that I did. That it ain't gonna work for you. You can't do the same work that I do. and it actually work. You can't, you know, but all of the negativity, all of the problems that you cause, all of it is going to be bestowed upon you, never us. Why should we have to suffer because you're a bitter, angry female that's talked a couple of males into going along with that? That's ridiculous. I would never do that. If I were a man, I would never do that. Never in a million years would I ever do that. You'd have to be in a really bad place. But yeah, Trinity, I'm not gonna be here long, and it just, that's what you try to manifest in my real life, but in reality, it's choking you. It's going. First of all, for you to be doing stuff like that in the first place, something's got to be wrong with your heart chakra. It's either dying or something. Something's wrong with you. And so I'm going to make sure that you can't project that to nobody. You're going to suffer that alone. Why do y'all think that my daughter gave birth to my grandbaby? My family's growing, and we know for a fact that y'all try to throw a temper tantrum, and that I don't know what in the world that was. That's so weird, you know. But I've warned you. I've warned you that you are on the path of death and destruction. I've warned you about that. And I've already, my darkest spirits are there every single day to protect us from y'all evil. There will never be any mistakes. We're never going to be scapegoats. We're never going to be your sacrifices. It's never going to be that way. It's going to always be this. Okay, it is. It's going to always be this. It's going to always end with you being pissed off because what? And that goes for all of you that are up to it. All of you. Okay. All right. That's pretty much it, y'all. This is sick and sad. And we know that that's what these women are up to. And it's really, you know, have I ever been afraid? Never. Why would I be afraid of something like that? But seeing you doing it is, seeing you consistently trying it is what infuriates a lot of people because they know what you're doing. People watch and they're like, what is this? And then what you do is you add yourself to that list because, and I'm sitting up here looking like, well, you made those choices in life to be a part of something like that, and you have to suffer for it. No innocent person has to suffer for that. Okay. All right. That's pretty much it. To the rest of y'all, have a wonderful Friday. I will see y'all later. I got some work to do. Okay. Y'all have a good one.